guys, what's up? This is Hayden here, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to plan a haircut, and also section and patterns as well, why we do it, and what's the easiest way to do it as well. So first of all, I just want to say, I hope everybody's okay during this time. I have this one mannequin. It's been quite difficult to actually get my hands on any more mannequins. So for me, what I've decided to do is I've decided to do as many tutorials for you guys on this one head that I can do. So I just want to kind of spread that out and not overload you with too much information all at once. So if we're here for 14 days, I want to try and get you 14 tutorials, or as many as I can possibly give you guys. So talking on today's topic, section and patterns, how to plan a haircut. They're two of probably the biggest kind of things that I get asked when doing a haircut, or in education in general actually. Section and patterns have become massive lately. They weren't always so big in barbering, you didn't see old school barbers taking out their clips and putting sections in the hair. It just didn't happen. Probably because one, old school barbering, it was very much you come in, you get your hair cut, you leave. A lot of it was just shaves and clipper work, and you didn't necessarily need as much sections as you do now. The reason barbering now has been so focused on kind of section and patterns, and people want to know exactly why we do it and how we do it, that's really because we've seen a massive crossover between hairdressing and barbering right now. So, with that becomes, we've taken a lot of the techniques that maybe hairdressers have used and brought them into men's hair, just to get a little bit more creative. And, longer hair is coming back in men's hair as well. And to get different looks in longer hair, not just a one length, not just square layers, to get different looks and different shapes, and that we see a lot of the time now with trends happening, mullets, shags, everything that's happening, you do rely and you do need a little bit of sectioning and a little bit of plan to your haircut, and a little bit more than you probably did a long time ago. So it can be a little bit difficult to get your head around, but I think what'll be nice if I just break it down a little bit on how I've understood it a little, and how I've kind of got my head around it, because as you guys all know, I'm a barber. I've trained as a barber, and I started as a junior apprentice, so hairdressing was not my forte, and I don't claim to be the best at sectioning and the best at hairdressing by no means, but over time I've gotten to grasp a few kind of techniques that's just made it a lot easier for me. So planning, first of all, let's talk about why we section. The reason we section is generally to plan out our haircut. So if we section the hair in different areas, it means that we can isolate certain areas to create different shapes around the head. So let's just say you want to create graduation on the side panels, but on the back you might want to create some layering, or maybe a heavier look, or maybe a mullet, or anything. What we will then do is, if we isolate the hair, so we isolate them side panels and isolate the back, we know then, and we can break that down to know that we can use our graduation, and as we kind of go from that panel to this panel, then we can switch to our layering and then blend it in, or sometimes leave it disconnected. So sectioning really is just about planning the haircut. There is no point in sectioning a haircut if you don't understand why you're sectioning it, or why you're putting them panels in. So everything we do needs to really have a purpose. And in terms of sectioning, I would recommend it to keep things nice and simple, generally starting with a profile section right down the centerpiece, a radial section across the top, the apex, and that will create a sort of hot cross bun section, and that will just make it a lot easier for me to then kind of take sections from that. So rather than going recession to recession straight away like we usually do in barbering, working with longer hair and working with a lot of hair, trying to kind of get that line to go recession all the way around can sometimes be a little bit difficult, just in terms of the weight on the end of the hair and the length of the hair. And so breaking it down by doing a hot cross bun section just makes it a little bit easier, and makes it easier to isolate the hair and to give you them nice clean sections. Okay, so that's the reason we do sections, is to plan the haircut. And then talking about kind of planning a haircut in general, how do we figure out what the best haircut is for our client? That comes down to a consultation for me. And a consultation, I will start off by understanding exactly what the client likes, dislikes about their hair. Maybe they're maybe they're a little bit self-conscious about some things in their hair, or maybe their face shape won't match certain haircuts that they might be kind of asking for. So that's where it comes down to us barbers to use our knowledge, not only for ourselves, but also our knowledge for the clients, to let them know what we think and give them a little bit of a different perspective on the way they think about their hair. So, for example, if someone has quite a wide face, what we will generally want to do is we will want to kind of make that nice and square. If they're, we want to kind of enhance that square shape. So if they've kind of, a round face, using a square shape and using graduation will enhance the squareness and take away from that roundness. Again, if someone has quite a harsh, strong shape face, they might want to soften that a little bit. So using round layers will soften that. If someone has a receding session line, they might want to wear their hair to the front of the hair to kind of cover that and to mask that and wear it onto their face. If someone has quite a small face with a small forehead, they might want to wear it back to open up their face. So again, taking all these things into account will help us decide the perfect haircut for our client. Also, growth pattern. So first is face shape, second, growth pattern. The growth pattern in the hair will nearly always determine what you can and what you can't do to the hair. So if someone has a caslick in the front of the hair and you want to wear it forward, it might be a little bit difficult to kind of get that hair to stay down. So either we'll kind of have to come to some sort of conclusion, whether we leave a lot of weight on the fringe to hold that down, or whether we kind of take the caslick away to kind of creatively get rid of it so we can put the hair down, or else just go with the caslick and let the hair sit where the way it naturally wants to sit, which generally I always think is the best thing to do, is to just let the hair sit as natural as possible. And so hair growth is massive, and it's a massive factor. I think that people sometimes don't even realize, clients don't even realize, why their hair does this. Why can't they have that style? So hair growth is a massive thing when it comes to that, and looking through the patterns of the hair to see how you can help it and how you can get the best haircut from that haircut. Also texture. The texture of the hair is also massive. People with curly hair, generally they won't want it too round. Okay, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It's also about the way we cut it, and the techniques we use to cut curly hair is going to obviously be different than when we use to cut straight hair. So again, I'm going to show you a little bit of my sectioning patterns and what I'm doing. The main thing I would say is to use your clips. Make sure your clips are not this size. I always go to workshops and I see barbers and they have clips like this size. It's not going to make it easy for you to try and section that hair. So a nice small kind of clip is ideal just to get that hair in place and create that kind of nice clean sections. Also, keep the hair 100% wet when you are sectioning the hair or planning the haircut. If you keep it 100% wet, it makes it a lot easier to manipulate the hair and to guide the hair into shape. Sometimes you can use a cutting aid. I sometimes will use Electric London's prep spray. So there's a lot of sprays out there, leave-in conditioner, that you can use just to kind of help you if you're starting off sectioning the hair. Right now I'm just going to use water because the mannequin heads, some of them just don't kind of deal with products too well in their hair. So keep the hair 100% wet, make sure the clips are nice and small. And also the other thing I would say is I generally work with two different types of combs. So this comb is nice and flat, it's a YS Park, and you can see we have one section that has small kind of bristles in it, and one has longer ones. Okay, you can see at the end of it there's this nice section thing, which will make it easier for me to be able to grab the sections, and on top you can see the holes in it will be able to guide me while I'm cutting. Okay, the other comb I have is a new comb that I got. So it was a present from a brand called Curvo. So if you look them up, it's CURVE -O, and it's actually got a slight curve and a slight bend in the comb. So what that will allow us to do, that will allow us to kind of get into the grooves of the head shape behind the ear and make it a little bit easier for us to reach in there and create them sections and pull that hair and create that tension. Again, it also has a gap in the top of it to make it easier to section, and also has this little ruler on top, so that when you are cutting the hair and when you are measuring your sections, that they're all in balance. Okay, that was a little bit about me today and about my lesson, my number 1 tutorial. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to speed this up a little bit, section the hair so you can see, and if you have any questions, please do comment me. Give me some of your feedback into maybe what you want to hear. Brad has long hair, so we can kind of get through a lot of haircuts with him. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say and what you're interested in. And also, I hope everybody is staying safe. I'm sending all my love and positivity to all you guys at home. Just make sure you stay indoors. Make sure we stop this horrible virus from spreading. And we're looking after each other. So stay safe, guys. I love you. Peace.